watching you. There's someone out there.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and today's missing person case is Don. Also, today's person of interest is Olivia. Today's missing person case is Courtney.
Police, let's find the 515th Street. Let's find on them now. We have a kidnapping. Alright, please, Frank.
Hello? Oh, nothing more creepier than a freaking shaft. Hello? What's up, Mob Crew? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Before we get started, I'm going to quickly play today's sponsor video, and then we'll get started.
Mob Crew and friends, are you prepared for the widespread food shortages ahead? Farmers have been warning us for months, but are we listening? They say it's beyond their control, especially with the fertilizer crisis. Bottom line, food shortages will be a harsh reality very soon. That's why you should get ready now with emergency food from My Patriot Supply. And good news, today you'll save 20% on their 3-month food kit. These kits provide delicious, easy to make breakfasts, lunch, dinner, snacks, drinks for one person for 3 solid months. Get one for each member of your family while you're able to save 20% during this timely sale. Remember, My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest preparedness company with millions of families already protected. These 3-month food kits, which average 2,000 calories a day, are in stock and ready to go. Your order ships fast and free and arrives in unmarked boxes. Go to preparewiththemobcrew.com. Those who know what's coming are already prepared. Are you? Prepare with www.preparewiththemobcrew.com. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you so much to My Patriot Supply for sponsoring today's live show. So, I am Chris with Monsters Under the Bed. We cover murder, mystery to the paranormal. In all my live shows and videos, I like to feature the missing. So just before we get started with today's show, we have Christian Staples, who went missing on October 17th, just a few days ago. He was last seen in Spotsylvania County. He was last seen leaving his residence of Dogwood Avenue in Spotsylvania County in Virginia around 2:30 on October 17th of this year. If you have any information on his whereabouts, please call 540-582-7115. Oh, is it low? Okay. All right. If you can hear me all right, please put a 1 in the chat if the volume is better. Okay, I just cranked it up. Hopefully that's better. If not, crank it up a little bit more. How's that? Put a 1 in the chat if it's good, 2 if it's not. And I will quickly read this again. Okay, let me read this and then we'll see. I think it should be better. But this is Christian Staples. He was last seen on October 17th in Spotsylvania County. He was leaving his residence off Dogwood Avenue in Virginia. If you have any information, okay, is it better? Still low. Okay, really low too. Really low. Mic check, mic check. Okay, how's... I haven't been live for a while. Okay, how's that? That should be better. I think this got turned down for some reason. Mic check. That is so weird. Okay. How is it now, guys? Let's try it one more time. 1 in the chat. Haven't gone live for a couple days, so I could see having some mic issues. Good on your end. Okay. All right. We'll try this one more time. Christian Staples, last seen in Spotsylvania County, near his residence off Dogwood Avenue on October 17th in Virginia, around 2:30 p.m. So if you have any information, if you're in that area or live in Virginia, please call 540-582-7115. Okay. So much better. Okay, good deal. All right, then we got one more. Apologize, guys. This is Sophie Gervais. She's just 14 years old. She went missing on October 14th, so exactly 1 week from today. She is a missing girl from Minnow Lake neighborhood in Sudbury, Ontario. So if you have any information, I will put the details to this one because this one doesn't have a phone number. So I will put, after the show, I'll put the details for her in the description at the bottom. Okay, still too low. It's been fine. Okay, so some people are saying... Okay, Jennifer says it's fine for her. Okay, we mostly got ones. Okay, mostly got ones. If maybe just hit the refresh button. YouTube has been doing tons of updates and it screws up everything. It would not surprise me if it even comes down to volume. Okay, so people are saying they can hear, but loud and clear. Low for you. That is weird because my volume's saying I'm up. Try just resetting it. Too low. Okay, for those that are saying too low, just hit the refresh button. It should fix it. I'm getting mostly good. Just a few people. Yeah, come back. Yeah. So all you have to do is just refresh or switch to the other video. I don't know why. It's actually louder than normal for me. Check your phone's chat. Okay, yeah, I actually think I'm a little louder than I should be. All right. I went out, still no volume. Yeah, see if you can turn it up. I mean, I'll be screaming through with everybody else that's hearing me. That's weird. Like I said, this is on YouTube. They have screwed everything up from there's been problems with just everything. Memberships, gifted memberships. So, yeah. So anyway, today we're going to be talking about Crystal Rogers and the Bardstown murders, which is a crazy case, but there's been some updates. But for those that have not heard of this case, we'll go through it. Just checking the chat. Just make sure. Okay, so most people say it's good. Some people, yeah, like I said, I refreshed and it didn't help. That's so weird. Yeah, like I said, it's really not, yeah, it's on YouTube, and I'm sorry, guys, that sucks. It really hurts us as creators when they do all these updates and they create more problems than they're trying to fix. It's kind of sucks. So this is Crystal Rogers. She went missing on July 3rd of 2015. She was 35 years old at the time. She was a mother of 5 children. She was living with her boyfriend, Brooks Houck. So she was last seen on the 3rd. On July 5th, Crystal Rogers, who was 35 years old, when she was reported missing by her mother. After that, she had not been seen or heard from since that evening of July 3rd. Crystal, who is a mother of 5 children, would never leave her kids. So that same day on July 5th, Rogers was reported missing, and they also found her car abandoned on the side of the parkway, which is a highway, with a flat tire at mile marker 14 on the Bluegrass Parkway in Bardstown, Kentucky. Her keys, phone, and purse were still inside her red Chevrolet Impala. And Rogers is not known to go anywhere without her children. So it was just sitting there with her contents inside. There was no foul play. As far as the car, the interior, it didn't look like there was any kind of foul play. It did have a flat tire, but it wasn't like totally bad. As a matter of fact, I think, yeah, so it's a rear passenger tire that was flat. But what's interesting is they said that when she would get flat tires, she wouldn't just normally pull off to the side. She would actually just drive it home or wherever to escape from, just having to pull off to the side. So she'd been known to, even with the flat tire, continue to drive the vehicle. As a matter of fact, there's an interview with the mother or father saying that one time she actually drove with the wheel was so worn out that she was driving on the rims. So they thought that was kind of odd that she would just pull over. So the timeline on July 3rd, so she was last seen on camera at a Walmart in a Walmart Supercenter, which is close to the home that her and her boyfriend Brooks Houck shared. She was last seen by a witness other than the boyfriend for the last time around 5 p.m. I'm not sure exactly if that was just leaving the store or on the way home. And then after that, the only other person that actually really saw her was the boyfriend. So from here, the boyfriend says 7 p.m. that they decided to go to the family farm, which is his family, the boyfriend's family farm, and which is located about 20 minutes south of their home. But they thought this was kind of odd, but apparently when they left, it was raining, and obviously at 7 p.m., it was starting to get dark, and they also had they shared one baby together, this little guy here. And the family members, after hearing this, thought this was kind of odd that they would be walking around the farm late at night, because apparently, according to Brooks, that they stayed there until midnight, walking around the farm while it was raining and basically pitch black. So family thinks that's a little strange. So according to Brooks, after midnight, they returned home about 12:20 a.m. Houck says he immediately went to bed with the baby and said that the last time he saw Crystal Rogers was at that home, and apparently she was playing on her phone. And then he goes on to say the next day when he woke up, she wasn't there. And so he said he figured she went out and went to a friend's house. So obviously July 3rd, this is on the eve of July 4th, a national holiday. Then we move to July 5th, and Crystal's mother would obviously go and report her missing. She would actually run into Brooks before going to the law enforcement in Bardstown. I guess while she was pulling into this place, she spoke to Brooks, and she explained that I'm gonna file a missing persons report, and she said it was odd because when she was talking about what she was doing, she thought it was weird that Brooks didn't show any kind of emotion when explaining that she was gonna file a missing persons report for her daughter and his girlfriend. She thought that was a huge red flag. So that same day, they would find her vehicle on the side of the Bluegrass Parkway near mile marker 14 that we explained earlier. Of course, the purse, keys, and phone were inside the car. So this is just a picture of the Bluegrass Parkway here. And so it was found just a little bit past this mile marker here. So Brooks Houck, the boyfriend, he would be brought in for an interrogation on July 8th to talk about when he last seen his girlfriend, Crystal Rogers. This interview is very interesting. We're not going to play the whole thing, but what happens after about an hour into the interrogation is very suspicious, because his brother calls him at exactly 7 o'clock, as you can actually see the clock, and here's him in the interview room, and he gets a phone call from his brother, and we'll play that here in just a second. But what happens next seems pretty scripted. So this is Brooke, obviously the boyfriend, and then this is his brother Nick, who at the time worked in law enforcement at Bardstown. So we'll play the just a little bit of what happened with this phone call. Oh.
It's just...
Come back here. What? Get over there. There we go. Okay. Make it bigger for you guys here. Okay, turn up the volume.
Can I get there? Sure, buddy.
So as you can see, it's just right about at 7 o'clock. I think he'd been interviewed for about an hour, and then it just so happens he gets this phone call from his brother at 7 p.m., who is at the time in the law enforcement.
Hello? No. I'm up here. I know that you didn't know. I'm up here in this interview with the Detective Snow. I've been up here. I'm filling out this statement here and everything. Are you telling me that's what I need to do? I know that. But the way that I look at it is, I'm innocent. I ain't done nothing wrong. I know you told me innocent people have got jammed up, but if you're telling me to leave, I'll get up and leave. If you want me.
His reaction right here, the detective. Oh, that's priceless.
Have got jammed up, but if you're telling me to leave, I'll get up and leave. If you want me.
So anyway, just a little backstory. I forget exactly, but so Brooks at the time, he was kind of in politics for a bit, and he was running for a local politician. I can't remember. Maybe somebody in this chat knows, but he was running for some kind of local position. And before that and after, I know he does rent property. I didn't do a big deep dive on him today just because there's so much to talk about. So I just kind of touched on a little bit of everything just for today's show. But anyway, so he's got this phone call. His brother Nick's calling him. It seems completely scripted. He's saying, hey, I know you're telling me to leave, but, I should stay because I'm innocent. And it just seems like a load of horse doo-doo.
You want me to... I know I'm going through a lot, but I'm trying to get this guy to help me. I don't think she's ran off with some other guy. I don't believe that. You can't make me think that. No. Yeah, so do I.
So now he's creating that narrative, like, oh well, she might have ran off with another guy, because he does kind of hint that they weren't having problems that night, or prior to they weren't fighting, but he did talk about in this interview before this phone call and everything that they did have problems, and that apparently she would leave, but he says that she would do this all the time and go to a friend's house, but they do an interview with one of the friends that he said that he probably thought she went to, and she says, I only seen her a couple of times. Usually the friend felt like this guy Brooks was very possessive, which is, pretty common with these kind of individuals. So
I'll do exactly what you're telling me to do right now. Do you want me to get up and leave? Man, I don't think these guys. I don't think these people are probably vindictive just to skin me for no reason. Man, this is not their family. This is not. All right, thank you.
okay, real quick, thank you, Michelle, for being a member for 4 months. That's so awesome. Another milestone. Yay. Thank you so much, Michelle. And real quick, Jennifer, member for 7 months. Happy Friday night, peeps. Thank you guys so much for your memberships. It really helps during this time because, like I said, YouTube is it's really hurting a lot of YouTubers with all this stuff going on. So this is okay. So we're gonna play a little bit more of this.
Thanks, y'all. Little fuck is what he thinks.
I don't know who he is.
Nick, my brother.
If you want to go, you're free.
No, I know it, but I'm not. He just said just to keep sitting up here, to give a statement, do an interview, whatever I got to do it. But he said, darn, just to keep letting them just beat you to death over this right here. Just ask what you got to ask and let you know.
And you tell me.
You see what I mean, he knows more about this than I do. You see what?
And have I told you that I'm for you?
Yes, you have.
I said, what did I say? My job is to find Crystal, right?
That's right.
I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, if you really care about Crystal and you want to help find her, you would want to cooperate, if you don't have anything to hide. I get it, in some cases it's tougher because, the first people they're going to look at is the boyfriend, husband, they're going to go to the closest family members and then cousins, friends, neighbors, strangers. So obviously they're going to look at the closest person, which is going to be Brooks, but this is definitely all played out. Michelle, member for 9 months. Love you all. Love you too. Thank you so much, Michelle, and thank you so much for all your hard work as a mod.
However that happens, my job is to find her. Whether I find her hopefully alive and well and safe somewhere or not, my job is to find her. If I don't find her alive and well, my job is to prosecute the person that did something.
That's right.
If that turns out to be you, my job is to prosecute you. If that turns out to be someone else, my job is to prosecute them, to gather evidence for a lawyer, a prosecutor, to prosecute them. I don't know whether that person will be you or not. Did I not tell you when you come in here and sit down today that right now you're the main person of interest.
Yes, that's right.
And I explained to you the reason that you're the main person of interest, right? You're the last person to see her alive, right? And I went through your timeline with you and explained to you that there's gaps in your timeline.
Okay, I unplugged my microphone and plugged it back in. Let's try this one more time. If you can hear me okay, can you put a 1 in the chat? If there's a problem, put a 2 in the chat. Just curious before we continue. So I'm going to exit out of that, but let's see. He does stay for a little while, but then, yeah, then he leaves. Let's see, what time does he... So it looks like 10 minutes, so that phone call pretty much worked because 10 minutes after that, he leaves. Okay, so... Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you so much. I can't click on it though. Oh. Oh, Copper Horse. That's so sweet. Copper Horse just gifted 50 memberships. I think just about everybody that's in here will probably get a membership. Just about. Oh my gosh, Copper Horse. Please show Copper Horse some love. That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Copper Horse. That's so cool. Still a little low, huh? Okay, I'm going to crank it up just a little bit more. I don't want to blow your eardrums out. Okay, this is... Alright, we're going to try this. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Okay, everybody's getting gifted memberships. Awesome. Sweet. Oh, and that's good timing. I'm going to tell you what. But we'll talk about it at the end of the show because I have a kind of a big surprise. I can't really talk too much about it, but I kind of let the members know a little bit of what's going to be going on here soon. But we'll talk about that at the end. So anyway, so he finishes this interview. This took place on July 8th. Let's see. Then he goes on the Nancy Grace show. So let's pull up his pick and then let's listen to. Let me get rid of that. All right, so we're gonna listen to the audio of the Nancy Grace. It's about 2-3 minutes. Oh, it's 4 minutes. Okay.
Joining me right now, in addition to her parents, Tom and Sherry Ballard, her boyfriend that she lived with, they're in their 3-bedroom suburban home. Brooks Houck is with us. So, Brooks, you go to bed, and she's still playing games on her phone. The next morning, around 8 o'clock, you notice that she's missing. Did you report her missing?
No, ma'am.
Why?
That is a great question, and one that I definitely want to hit the public and the media. I was not in the least little bit alarmed in any way, shape, or form. We have had a stressed relationship at times, and one of the ways that Crystal has always chose to cope or to deal with that is by going to a young woman's name, Sabrina, that is her cousin, her dad's brother's daughter, whom she's very close to. She spent the night there on several occasions.
When you say...
Okay, I'm going to pause that real quick. Yeah, Malicious, if you haven't, you only have to do this once, but at the top, click that little enable gifts where the presents say 50. If you haven't clicked that for the first time, it'll allow you to be entered in for the next time or this time possibly. So for those that are new to gifted memberships, if you haven't clicked that little green bubble under the chat, or at the top of the chat, I should say, at the left, you just click that once. All you have to do is one time, and then you're always kind of entered in if somebody does gift the memberships. But thank you so much, Copper Horse. Okay, so we're going to continue this. So this is obviously the boyfriend, Brooks Houck, on Nancy Grace. I think this is a couple weeks since she's gone missing. The family's also in the interview as well. And, but yeah, so anyway, he's already creating that narrative that, hey, you know, she we have problems, she'll go to the friend's house.
Several? Do you mean 1, 3, 20?
In the neighborhood of 4 to 6, something
Okay,
like that.
to Tom and Sherry Ballard, were you aware of that? Do you know who Sabrina is?
Yes, ma'am.
That's my niece.
Okay. Did you know that she goes and spends the night over there when she's having an issue at home?
I've known probably one time.
Right. Okay, I want to go back to Brooks Houck, who was the last person to see her alive. Brooks, did you go on to the July the 4th get-together that day?
Yes, I did.
Even though you didn't know where she was?
I was expecting, I'd putting in a phone call that morning and then around lunch. And usually the maximum period of time that she has stayed gone has only been like a day to a day and a half at the most. And as a result of that, I thought that she would
Did you try to call
join
her?
us. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, ma'am.
Did you try to call her during that time?
Not while I was there at the 4th. I called her prior to leaving to head in that direction. Yes, ma'am.
Some people have accused you of not being involved enough in the search efforts. What's your response?
That is a great question, and one I certainly appreciate you asking me. And that is...
He says this a bunch of times, which is funny. Jamie James, so now, just because you clicked it, that just means you allowed to be possibly gifted as a membership. It doesn't mean you get gifted automatically, but once you click it, you just click it once, and then whenever somebody does a gifted membership, the people that are enabled, then it just randomizes. So it is random, but you do have to click it at least once, so that way from now on, you can get possibly gifted a membership. So it is random, but if you haven't clicked on the present, do that. That allows you to be gifted. Hope that made sense. Thanks, Tom and buddy. Thank you so much for the $50. Thanks for all your hard work. Awesome work, Chris. Thank you so much. Yeah, we got a lot to go over. A lot. We've just scratched the surface. Thank you so much, buddy, for the $50. Please show Tom some love. Like I said, everything that comes into this channel, we put right back into helping the missing, and you guys are gonna see that here real soon.
Is all of my efforts in searching for her have been done behind the scenes with the Nelson County Sheriff's Office.
Like what?
Detective Snow, who's leading the investigation, and Jason Allison, who's a deputy there assisting him, along with the Kentucky State Police Agency Post Number 12. So
well, my question was what you had been doing with them, but let me ask you this. I know that you agreed to take a polygraph. Did you pass?
Because of the way that the lines or whatever were on the thing, they determined it to be what's called inconclusive. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but they did tell me it does mean that I wasn't lying or I didn't pass it or I didn't fail it. They just ruled it inconclusive, and that's exactly the way that it stands. I've been 100% completely honest with everyone. I've been 100% cooperative, and everything that has been asked of me, I've not asked for any kind of legal advice or assistance or an attorney of any nature. I'm 100% completely innocent in this, and I have exhausted my efforts with the law enforcement agencies.
So before we finish, it's almost over, but he was never seen. Oh my gosh, this poor person, this poor family, I should say, they've been out searching for their daughter for, what is it? We're in 2022, 2015, 7 years, and have been through HELL for a long time, because there's just been so many where they've done searches and thought they've even found remains, and we'll look into that here in a bit, but there's always this anticipation. They go to this place and think they might find something, and then there's nothing, and it's happened so many times in this case. But you know who? One person that has never been seen involved in the search is Brooks. Never been seen. Not once has helped physically that we know of. So yeah, in my eyes, he's a piece of doo-doo. But, you know, Nancy Grace obviously just asked him, you know, well, we haven't seen you. The family says, you know, what are you doing? And he says, oh, well, I've been helping behind the scenes.
To gather all the facts necessary to allow me to have a clean name again. And that's very important to me. I have not responded to a lot of the negativity and all this animosity because I want the emphasis to remain on Crystal's safe return home, and that's where I want it to. I want it to stay focused in that area rather than dealing with any of the animosity.
Okay, so that's it. There's a bigger interview, but that's kind of the highlights of that interview. So moving on. So here's just kind of the places that. So at the time he had owned, I guess so property currently being investigated. So yeah, he owned a bunch of properties. And these ones are presently owned by him, and he used to own this one and rent it out. Let's back up here. So his brother, as we've kind of talked about him just a little bit, who at the time was in law enforcement at the Bardstown, he would eventually be suspended according to then Chief Rick McCubbin. And we're going to go over his little thing here in just a minute because his brother Nick is just as devious. So, yeah, he would eventually be suspended and I think fired for not cooperating and interfering with an active investigation. Both have not been arrested. Now, I pulled this off something, but I think, I guess you could say both have not been arrested in relation to the investigation. Yeah, so it's been 7 years since she went missing. So this is kind of just a look. We kind of looked at another map, but so this is the home that they shared. This is the brother's home, and then this was the farm. So Nick Houck, the brother, he would eventually be brought in for interview because they're like, okay, you know, you just called your brother Brooks, you know, when we were doing an interrogation of him, and you kind of told him, hey, kind of interfered, and they weren't happy with that. So they obviously brought him in. He would also take a polygraph test where he would fail. During the interview, detectives would say they tested the trunk of his squad car, and they did a luminol test, and it looked like they used the word Smurf. That's how much it lit up. Now, we don't know how much of that is true because, of course, we have Steve from True Crime Web in here. It's always nice to have learn the wisdom from someone that's a former law enforcement detective. And, we have learned that they can lie to you when they're interrogating you. And so we're not sure if this is true or not. But it wouldn't surprise me just because him and the brother, so the Houck's brothers, not long after she went missing, would drive to the farm together. And they, when they press him on that certain day about what'd you guys do, the brother Nick couldn't really answer the question. So they feel like that might have been when they might have disposed of Crystal's remains. Because that's where they're at now. Well, I think they might have left today, but they've been out there for 5 days at this farm. And we'll take a deeper dive into that in a little bit. But So anyway, I'm going to play just a part of his interview here, which is very interesting. Yes, I do have Cash App. Just look for a link. I'm sure my mods will... oh, yep, right there. I'll pin it at the top for a minute there. Make it easier. Okay, it's not playing. What's going on? Play the other one. Okay, don't want to get copyright for that. Okay, so he just got done taking a polygraph test, and now he's getting told the results. And this kind of gives you an idea of what this guy's kind of like.
I mean, I'm crystal clear with you. I give everybody a good, fair test. I'm no longer asking you if you know. You do. Now, what you want to do with that is entirely up to you. I'm going to yell and scream at you and get the Sipowicz phone book and all that. I'm talking to you man to man as a fellow law enforcement officer. That the time has come for you to think real hard about the rest of your life. This is you. I'm not talking about Brooks or anybody else. And I'm telling you facts of life. I'm an old guy. I'm not trying to be a father figure here, but I'll tell you, in doing this for 25 years, the way that this pans out. When the FBI gets involved in this investigation, I want you to listen to what I'm saying. You don't have to say anything to me. You do whatever you want to do. As I said, you may never even meet an FBI agent, right? But once you get on the radar, we don't go away, unless there's a reason to. I thought there would be. You didn't pass this, and there's some other information there as well. So I guarantee you we're not going away. All right. The FBI has unlimited resources.
Okay, so I'm going to skip this forward to where he kind of accuses him, because it gets kind of heated.
Look like this.
You do whatever you want to do. I said I'm not.
I want to cooperate with you. I mean, I'm not
Well,
here.
then tell me what happened. Tell me what you know.
I don't know anything.
We're past that. You've already shown me that you do.
I know nothing. I'm
And I'll
sorry.
tell you, that's not true. It's not me. I just showed you. I don't even show people the results. I showed you yours.
Man,
And I even went the extra step for you to find out, okay, well, let's try to nail down what you know more about. You know more about this? Who would know? Am I saying that you did it or you don't know? I'm just saying you know more than we did. Whether that's a simple conversation with your brother or whether you were physically involved out there, I can't tell you. Either one of those things would explain what I'm seeing. My hunch is it's something that your brother told you.
I don't know anything. He has not spoken with me about this.
Well,
He's my brother.
I'm glad you said that because he probably would know better than to say specific things. So it's a matter then perhaps of what you observed, what you saw.
And from what I remember, it's not... Because, you sometimes have the inconclusive polygraph tests, which are a little more, you can't really go off those. I would lean more towards that is probably a negative, but he failed his polygraph. Numerous questions, if I recall.
Other people say. I don't know. I wasn't there. All I'm telling you is, objectively, that's what we do. You and I do. That badge on there is forever. For you. If there's stuff to explain this, there can be explanations, is my point.
Yeah, I mean, just this whole process,
You said,
Why can't you? I'm being truthful.
look, we're
Okay.
not 2-year-olds, all right?
Okay.
So it's not, yes I am, no I'm not. Yes I am, no I'm not. We're talking, look, I've been nothing but professional with you and trying to help you in this
Okay.
situation.
Other than calling me a liar when I'm not.
Look, if the
Yeah, he starts getting really agitated towards the end. This is 44 minutes. We're going to play the whole thing. I'm going to skip it to where he starts getting, that's standard FBI introduction to place you on your heels. Yeah, they definitely, especially, with him, because they come right out and go, hey, why we tested your trunk and with luminol and it looked like a Smurf was in there. And so they really, tried to rattle this guy. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that's true or not, but
The right thing to do is to tell you you're not being truthful, then I'm going to tell you.
Why in hell there is any blood in that car?
I have no idea.
Everybody's told me that. You know, I speak with the state police. That's the first thing they said.
Okay.
Grand jury. I mean, it's crazy.
But I'm not them, right?
Okay, but I'm just saying this is crazy.
It may be. All I'm saying, look, I'm not vouching for all this stuff. The evidence will speak for itself, right?
Sure.
So it really doesn't matter what people want to say or not. The evidence that I've told you about that I can demonstrate are things that we already do have back that I can show.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't think they're anything that paint you in a horrible light. They show discrepancies with what you've said. Well, there may be a very clear reason for that.
There is.
Well, that's all I'm saying. I'm not. Look, when I accuse you of lying over here, okay, and lie is a bad one. Nobody wants to hear lie. We've all lied in our lives. I don't care who you are. I have, no doubt about it. We all have. Nobody wants to hear that. But
So I'm gonna skip
somebody
a
who's
little bit more. Gotta find that. It gets a little heated. I think this has got him where he. It might not be.
Yeah, he was with Jon Snow. He was with Jon Snow for
that
hours.
ours?
Yes.
Okay.
It's funny. There's a detective at the time was Jon Snow. Game of Thrones fans know who that is. A character from Jon Snow, but it's not the obviously not the same Jon Snow.
Yes, I called up there. Brooks is a really cooperative guy. He's honest. You know, and I didn't tell him to leave. I told him, I said, you go ahead and finish up your, he was given a...
Okay, so here he kind of gets pressed on why'd you call your brother? And so this is kind of a good question.
Brooks would say that he did discuss asking you for any help on this matter.
No, there's no way he said that. No reason, no way, 100% not.
Okay. I know they asked you about it, but I know when he was being interviewed, you called and basically
Yeah, he was with Jon Snow. He was with Jon Snow for
that
hours.
ours?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I called up there. Brooks is a really cooperative guy. He's honest. You know, and I didn't tell him to leave. I told him, I said, you go ahead and finish up your, he was given a narrative or whatever, a statement.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's fine to give that. I said, say what you mean what you say. You know, I asked him, I said, are they screwing you around? They asked you the same questions, a bunch of different ways. Because he'd been up there for hours. This wasn't no 1 or 2 hours. He may have been up there like 3 hours or 4 hours. It'd been a while. And I figured John was screwing him around, and I just wanted to find out what was going on up there. So that's all that was about. If they want to read more into it, that's up to them, you know.
I'm just asking you just because I...
Yeah, he was with Jon Snow, period.
I don't know. I thought he was only in there for more than an hour, but I'll have to look into that and see. But anyway, thank you so much, Tom. And this guy has more denial than John Wayne Gacy. Oh yeah, that's funny because I actually just watched the John Wayne Gacy program on Netflix. I watched Netflix and the one on Peacock. Both really good. But yeah, it's amazing. That guy is totally in denial, for sure. And thank you so much, Tom, buddy. So anyway, I guess this doesn't have the part where he maybe let's see, let me play this last little bit.
Think I've treated you fairly today?
I think you have.
I've been professional with you?
Yes, sir.
Have you yelled or screamed or cussed at you?
Nope.
Have you yelled or screamed or cussed at me?
A little bit.
Okay. And I understand that, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, there's another part of this where it gets really heated with him. I thought it was in this, but there, like I said, this is definitely not the whole interview. I was hoping this part would have been the part I'm talking about was in this, but anyway, he gets real heated. Kind of shows his true colors there. So just when things couldn't get any worse, after a year goes by, the father of Crystal Rogers, who is Tommy Ballard, who created Team Crystal, and he was out there searching for his daughter nonstop. And so he created this community in Bardstown, Kentucky, dedicating to finding Crystal and bringing her home. And he even started doing his own investigation. There's a series on Peacock called The Disappearance of Crystal Rogers. If you have Peacock, and you haven't seen it, it's really good. I do a 5-part series on it. It's really, really good. But when they show up there, it's a former detective and kind of a reporter working together, and they go to the mother's house, his wife, Crystal's mother, and she pulls out this box of just all these files that the father had collected, with surveillance videos, notes, everything. So anyway, sadly, after 16 months of her being missing, on the morning, or I'm not sure if it was morning, I got to double check, but on November 19th, 2016, Tommy was out hunting with his 12-year-old grandson on the family property, which is next to the Bluegrass Parkway. You're going to hear Bluegrass Parkway a lot, in Bardstown, Kentucky. An unknown subject fired one shot and hit Tommy in the chest and basically instantly killed him. And sadly, this took place right here. And we'll look into it just a little bit too. So it says here just kind of what I explained. So Tommy started doing his own investigation into his daughter's disappearance, and some believe that he may have been getting close to finding the person who was responsible, because the murder looked like a hit. Sadly, he was out hunting with his grandson, and someone pulled over on the Bluegrass Parkway, most likely, somewhere here or back further. But they probably parked. It could have been, when they do in the show on Peacock, they kind of theorized that it might have been two people. There was a guy, a driver, and then the shooter. And the shooter got out, and then got into position in this tree line here. And then must have known that he'd be going hunting. And unfortunately, Tommy was out with his grandson. I think 12 years old at the time. And anyway, the grandson, I think, said that Tommy had noticed something in that direction, and he told the grandson to go do something. I think grab something out of the truck. Thank goodness. And as he did that, Tommy was looking in that direction, and then the grandson said he heard a shot fired. And then when he came back, his grandpa was sadly laying on the ground, and dead. So grandson obviously had to call the family at 911. Yeah, the poor grandkid. Yeah, to go through that, if the family hasn't gone through enough. So absolutely traumatizing for sure. Oh yeah, we'll get to that, JH. Oh yeah, we'll there's a lot, but yeah, we will definitely get to that. Thank you, JH. So yeah, just another tragedy to add on to this. So now, like I said, we'll get into the other stuff because there's so much to this. They call it literally the Bardstown murders, just because, and they all happen within a year of each other. Basically, it's like, something happens, and then just when you think, a year goes by and things are going to calm down and get back to normal, another tragedy, and then that just keeps happening over and over and over. And just in this little town. So, and this is just a touch on what this family had to go through, and this is just for Crystal. So in July 2020, possible human remains are discovered near the Nelson and Washington County line. Rogers' family is notified about the unidentified remains, and they are sent for testing in Quantico, Virginia. A month goes by. FBI Louisville announces it will be the lead agency in Rogers' case and spends the day searching the home of the main suspect, Brooks Houck, Rogers' boyfriend. So he is considered, obviously, the main suspect, Brooks Houck. He has not been arrested yet to this day. Hopefully that will change, or whoever did this. because they are out doing something, and we'll obviously talk about that at the end. They also launch what they call the Crystal Rogers Task Force website. If we can time it, we'll look that up. Then that same month, FBI identifies a new area of interest, which is near Poplar Flats Road, Farmaway Drive in Bardstown. The FBI asked Bardstown residents to remember where they were during the early hours of July 4th, especially if they were in that area. So this is kind of the area, they had it circled, it's about approximate, but so this is that Popular Flats area. This is the home that her and Crystal and Brooks had shared at the time. But for some reason they're interested in this kind of area here as far as locals on the day of or the early hours of July 4th. I would be moving out of that town. Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll get some answers soon. All right, continuing on. So that the remains that we talked about earlier in November 20 of 2020, those remains did not belong to Crystal Rogers. Then, August 24th next year, 2021, so last year, FBI announces it's conducting several searches in Bardstown subdivision concerning Crystal Rogers' case. And I think that's when, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's when they were searching. Let's see, where is it? Where did you go? There it is. So I think this is where they were searching these properties, and I think this one in particular, since he had owned this one in 2015. And moving on. So then we move to present year, just a few days ago. FBI agents search a farm in Bardstown where Crystal Rogers was last seen before she disappeared 7 years ago. FBI Louisville office announced that agents were conducting judicially authorized activity at the 345 Pascal Ballard Lane, which is a farm owned by the family of Brooks Houck, who was, the boyfriend at the time of her disappearance. So this is the farm that they were at, according to Brooks, between 7 and midnight. So it's a fairly big farm. We'll kind of look at an overview when we get a chance. And we're going to look at a couple of articles of what's been going on. So this was going to be like a 3 to 4 day search. They started on Monday. They were there all the way up till today, Friday. There is some updates. They did haul some stuff off, so we will look at that. So hopefully, maybe they might have found something. I can't imagine that, with how long it's been, with the remains, it's going to be bones. Who knows if they tried to, burn her remains. There might not be much left of her, so it's going to be really hard, after 7 years. So I kind of feel bad, for the family and just everybody involved, that they would have to keep going through this and get it, kind of get excited for another search. And that's been going on. I mean, I only mentioned like half of these searches that went on. There were several throughout these 7 years where they thought, oh, this is, there's a lead and we think she's buried here. And you'll actually, if you watch the series on Peacock, you'll see that. So I feel so bad for the family. Thank you so much, Tom, buddy. Thanks for coming to these cases. They don't get enough attention, including Aiden. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing something for aiding, hopefully by the end of the year. But we'll talk about that more probably next week. Thank you so much, buddy, for the $20. I appreciate it. It really helps because, like I said, YouTube's been really funky. Okay, so we will start with just one of these news clips about what's going on right now.
Of FBI agents, forensic experts, and investigators are working on a farm property 9 miles south of the city of Bardstown. They're still searching for clues related to the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. Here's what we know at this hour. According to investigators, the last place Crystal Rogers was seen, according to police, seen alive was on the Houck family farm 7 years ago. It's a farm owned by Brooks Houck's mother. Right now, an FBI mobile command center is on that property. Dozens of agents are there, along with Bardstown Police and the Nelson County Sheriff's Office. WHS 11 Shay McAllister is back for another night tonight covering this all. She is in Nelson County, and I know, Shay, you've been seeing a lot of activity. How would you describe what you've been watching today?
Northern, we are not talking about Quentin. We are talking about the Crystal Rogers case. So, unless you're talking to somebody else. But yeah, I don't, they've left the landfill, if you're wondering about the Quentin assignment, which we will try to touch on, not today, but in an upcoming show.
You know, everything kicked off around 8:30 this morning. That's when the search restarted for a second day, but that's not when investigators got on scene. Actually, we're told some investigators never left last night, securing this scene overnight to make sure nothing would happen ahead of a big day of operations. After lots of preparations, lots of setup yesterday on day one, today was the day. They brought in cadaver dogs, they brought in heavy machinery, and they tell us they searched multiple areas across the 245-acre farm. On day 2 of the search at the farm, special agents came and went from the property. Beyond the roadblock, held secure by the Bardstown Police Department, we got a look at the operation underway. FBI vehicles on site indicate there are at least 24 investigators on the farm, working near a barn that has been a point of question in the past. Take a closer look between the gray van and the blue barn. You can see a green and white tent. Assigned investigators could be working beneath the earth right there. The Ballard family tells us they have had questions about that barn and what happened around it for years. It was on the property the summer Crystal went missing, unlike the newer, bigger gray barn, which they say was built more recently. And that isn't the only focus on the farm. Special agents.
So take a look at this real quick. Notice these outhouses. These will, for some reason, these caught the attention of the FBI, and we'll talk about that here in just a second.
Newer, bigger gray barn, which they say was built more recently. And that isn't the only focus on the farm. Special agents are using off-road vehicles to go beyond where the road ends, digging and working with cadaver dogs at multiple areas across the farm. Trailers used to haul the heavy machinery onto the property now wait empty.
I wonder how the mom is doing. She's holding up. She is a strong lady, and she's been there every time when they have to go to these places. And yeah, she is a very tough lady. But the boy, the grandchild, yeah, the one that they shared, the girl, Crystal and Brooks, if I recall, the Brooks family has him, but I have to double check on that.
Also on site, a cell service truck used to give the team a signal for better communication across the rural farmland. This is at least the 3rd time the farm has been searched by law enforcement. Still, Team Crystal hopes this time will be the last.
We hope that something comes from this. With us, Team Crystal and everybody else searching, we have searched most all the lands around here, but we've never been able to search on the property.
With multiple evidence trucks and teams on site, they are hopeful this team of investigators will find a missing piece and finally close the Crystal Rogers case. And Doug, we have learned they didn't find what they were looking for today, so the search will extend into a 3rd day. Again, investigators staying on.
So this would be technically day 2 that they had been out there. But I know that they had hauled some things away, And so we'll look at, press on here. So this would be today. So this is one of the recent interviews or press reports.
FBI agents are now in their 5th day of a new search connected to the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. Brooks Houck was dating Rogers at the time of her disappearance 7 years ago.
Let me use VLC. I can kind of turn it up a little louder for you guys.
FBI agents are now in their 5th day of a new search connected to the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. Brooks Houck was dating Rogers at the time of her disappearance 7 years ago. His family owns the farm that FBI agents are currently combing through right now. Isaiah Kim Martinez is there with us this afternoon with what he's been seeing so far this morning. Hi, Isaiah.
Hey there, Brooke. Well, we haven't learned much. The FBI hasn't told us much as far as what they have or have not found on the Houck family farm property, but we did notice just in the last 15 minutes or so, take a look at this video. We actually saw a truck go inside the blocked off area and go ahead and take out what looked to be about 4 porta potties. Take with that what you will. Could that mean searching will stop for the weekend? That remains to be seen later this afternoon. We also saw the FBI command unit, Central Command Unit.
Oh, so I wonder if those are porta potties for the FBI and that's for the command center. Huh. I didn't really think.
Actually, its unit make its way out as well. So it's.
Yeah, I guess why the hell would you need 4 porta potties on at a farm? Okay, yeah, I was just thinking about that. I thought maybe they pulled them out of something that like they were storing porta potties there, but those look kind of new, and so yeah, that I don't know. So that sounds like they're packing up. But I did hear that they did pull stuff from the barn, so maybe, hopefully, but you know, obviously. Maybe they're just going for the weekend, you know, it is Friday.
All signs are kind of pointing towards at least some level of wrapping up. Again, that's not confirmed, and we'll go ahead and check that info for you guys and check in with that. Well, of course, media is not being escorted back on or back onto the farm property here today, so it's going to be a lot of the video we've seen over the past few days. Right now, we're still seeing, of course, this Bardstown police cruiser blocking off at least a portion of this road leading back to the property. Now, coming up in our early evening shows, we're going to get some insight from a former FBI special agent in charge on what this week of search is and what these FBI moves could mean for the entire investigation. We're going to get some of that insight here at 4, 5, and 6. For now, I'm live here in Bardstown. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
So yeah, that's just tough. So, let's see, where should we go next? Let's just talk about some of the history of Bardstown, because there's so much more to not just Crystal and her father, obviously, but what happened before that, which is absolutely just a terrible tragedy for this town. So it all started really May 23rd in 2013. So this would be 2 years prior to Crystal's disappearance. So this would be Officer Jason Ellis. So Jason Ellis was one of the K-9 units. I think he also did some of the drug and narcotics work as well. So he had just was done with his shift and was heading home to Bloomfield around 2 a.m. after his shift on, says, oh, the 25th. Excuse me, May 25th. I put the 23rd. My apologies, the 25th. He exited the Bluegrass Parkway at exit 34, which is shown right here. And this is terrible. And so he started coming off the exit to get on the Bloomfield, and as he's coming around the turn here, there was trees blocking the on-ramp, and so of course Officer Ellis, even though he's off duty, he doesn't want anybody to get injured, so he pulls his car to the left side of the road. Now, of course, it's 2 o'clock in the morning or past 2 a.m. and he gets out of his car. He goes to grab these tree branches that were clearly cut down and placed there on purpose. And there's kind of a ridge, a hill that overlooks the on-ramp as it's coming around. And there was clearly at least one, they believe there was a couple people, but there was one shooter hanging up close, about 20, 30 feet away, and shot and killed Ellis with a 12-gauge shotgun. And so by the time another passerby got to Jason Ellis, used his radio for help, unfortunately Ellis would succumb to his wounds, sadly. And so this is another investigation, another murder that has gone unsolved to this day, which is really sad, and started just a chain of events, which we don't know if they're all connected. Some people think they are. I think at least a couple of them, obviously the mother and father, but then we're going to talk about another one that comes up here. So hey, buddy, great coverage on this case. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much, Tom, man. Thank you for the $10. It really helps. The support really helps me. Thank you so much, buddy. So a year goes by, almost a whole year, on April 21st. Just about a year since Ellis's murder. There was sadly a gruesome discovery at a home on Springfield Road in Bardstown, Kentucky. Kathy Netherland, a special eds teacher, and her 16-year-old daughter Samantha were found murdered in their home on April 21st in 2014. Kathy had been shot multiple times, that's the mother. Samantha had been beaten. Both of them were tied up to a chair, and sadly their throats were cut. Police have said that they are interested in a black Chevy Impala that was seen near the home around the time of the murder, and believe that this vehicle may have some connection to this case. So obviously you would have 2013 Jason Ellis, then a year goes by, the mother and daughter get murdered. Then 2015 you have Crystal Rogers, who goes missing, and they have not found her. And then 2016 you have Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard, get murdered. So it's been very dark in that town. So hopefully, with this new search that's going on, hopefully they can solve one of these cases, and maybe that will get the ball rolling. Some people feel it's corruption. I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory on each of these two real quick. So with Jason Ellis, so that show that I talked about that's on Peacock, really good if you have Peacock, The Disappearance of Crystal Rogers. They kind of talk about this, and they get in contact with a guy that's in jail or prison, and he said that he's got information on a lot of these cases, these unsolved cases. He said that this case in particular, Jason Ellis, we don't know if this is true, but he said this happened to be some people getting back at him because he was getting too close on a case when it came for drugs and drug trafficking. So this was kind of in retaliation. We don't know if that's true. That's just what they kind of talked about in the on the show. Then when it comes to Kathy and Samantha, which is just absolute tragedy because it's very gruesome. The details are very bad. So they were quite vocal about like drug trafficking and drug dealing and all that kind of stuff. And apparently they are against gangs and stuff. And apparently this same guy that was given information about Jason Ellis says that what he heard in jail or prison, I guess probably prison, is that this was a part of and it sounds terrible, this was part of a gang initiation, and that these gangs had to pick a family and whatever, and this was the result of that. Now we don't know if that's true. That's just obviously speculation, but they were definitely vocal about anti-drug and stuff like that, and so they feel like they were kind of targeted because of that, kind of made an example of. So, but like I said, we don't know if that's true or not. It is called The Disappearance. I'll type it out. The Disappearance of Crystal Rogers. It's really good. If you have Peacock, like I said, I thought it was very well done. It's got like 5 episodes. Really great. So let's see, what time is it? So we started at 6:30, 7:30, almost 8. Okay, so we touched on that. There was one more thing. Okay, so I just wanted to play just a little bit of the interview with the mother, who I think is the bravest, strongest mother, to go through everything that she's been through. So I'm just going to play just a little bit of this real quick.
It's just, I don't really know how I feel. I'm trying not to.
So this would be the mother of Crystal Rogers. And obviously her husband, who was murdered a year later, would be Tommy. So she lost a daughter and her husband within a year. Well, a little bit over a year.
Get too excited about it because I don't want such a letdown if nothing's found. But at the same time, how can I not? I'm just praying God is giving me the answers today or tomorrow or whenever it takes. And I'm happy that they're back on that farm. I've never felt satisfied with that farm, so I'm happy about that.
Can you tell us who's sitting with you?
This is my daughter, Brooke. This is Crystal's daughter, Tori. Sorry. This is my son, Casey. And this is Crystal's daughter, Kylie.
How is it so important for everyone to be here together today for this?
Because this is such a big day for us. It's such a hard day. Gosh, it's very hard. And I just wanted my kids with me.
So they're kind of doing just a little. This is like a small press conference that they did, I think, at the beginning of this week. I got to double check, but obviously this is very recent, and this is just kind of, going with the search that's on the Houck farm that Brooks, the ex-boyfriend, said, that's where we went. And they obviously, even after she went missing, Brooks and his brother Nick suspiciously went to the farm about a week after she went missing, or less than a week, and for whatever reason they went there, did some stuff, and then came back. And so they feel like it's a good possibility that she was Crystal was placed somewhere on that farm.
We've had situations like this before where the FBI has been called out to make check locations. every time it happens, does it just reconfirm your hope, or does it take a step back because nothing would be released? How do you go into that mentally?
Well, the FBI is very good about keeping me informed. You know, I understand there are certain things they can't tell me. They can't tell me about a search before it's happening or anything like that, and I respect that. But they're very good about keeping me informed as the search is going on. They make sure, you know, I have a number that I can reach someone. And so I'm very lucky in that sense that they do give me that. Everything they do is a blessing to me, because it may take me one step closer to finding my daughter.
Could you explain what you meant when you said that you weren't quite satisfied with the activity on that property before?
It's such a huge farm that, you know, it takes so long to go through something like that. And just, I guess as a mom, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, gosh, you know, could she still be there? You know, could she still be there? I guess I just, until I find her, I'm just never going to be happy with that farm. I always think that's the last place she was seen. Could she be there and maybe it was overlooked or something? You know, we've searched in the woods numerous times.
Yeah, they've searched everywhere, and like I said, I'm not going to play this whole thing because we're kind of running late. I don't want to go too much later, but yeah, this poor family, and like I said, the mother in general, she is, like I said, we kind of touched on some of these places that they had searched, these other properties that the boyfriend had, but the farm, you know, that's where, you know, they were kind of last seen, and so I think it's a good possibility that at the very least she was at that farm. She could have been moved, wouldn't surprise me, but I would not be surprised if at some point, if not now, she's on that farm. So they've been out there for a week. Looks like they've wrapped up, but you know, hopefully they're not giving up and we'll come back on Monday. Maybe they did collect something, you know. I think at this point they don't want to get their hopes up. Even if they found something, they might not even say anything until, you know, the tests are done and stuff. So, but we're going to definitely keep an eye on this case because this has been kind of going on for a week. And so hopefully, you know, some good news will come out of it at the end, because 7 years is quite a long time. And then, like I said, you've got these other cases with Jason Ellis and the mother and daughter who were killed. You know, they need justice as well. So hopefully if one breaks, you know, one case kind of cracks, maybe that'll kind of get the ball rolling. I honestly really feel like this was with the father, it feels like some kind of murder for hire type thing. Just the way it happened, you know, it kind of felt, and this is just my words, professionally done, you know. So, yeah, I feel absolutely terrible for these people. Oh, donation dance. Oh, low volume. Okay, that's a little better. I'm gonna, after the show, I'm gonna make sure that the voice is a lot better. Do some fixing. I'm actually going to get a mic that comes down. That way, because I can't lift my desk, but with a mic that's retractable, it would be a lot easier. So, so yeah, we're going to definitely keep an eye on this case. So thank you so much for the $2, Michelle. What do you guys think? Do you think it would be... Do you guys want to see the donation dance? I'm kind of not happy with it. I feel like I really need to... We'll do it next time. I feel like I need to re-edit some things. So we'll do that next time, guys. I know you guys are really looking forward to that. I want to tweak it a little bit. So, but thank you guys. We will do a new one. So don't leave yet. I do have some big news. I can't really talk much about it. As you guys know, we've been the Dylan Rounds case is local to me. It's something that's, personal because, we've been out there since day one looking for him. And, we recently had Candace Cooley on. She did talk about how there is going to be a search going on at some point pretty soon. We are going to be a part of that. I can't say when and where, but I can say it's going to be happening soon. So the content might slow down. Probably over the weekend, I'll still have stuff. I mean, usually I upload something every day. But you'll notice there might be a few days where you might not see anything. But then I can say we will have probably one of the biggest videos of the year. And like I said, this project that we're going to be a part of, this isn't like the last 5 times where it's just us going out there. This is part of a bigger project that's going on that we are included in, getting to do this. So I'm really honored and humbled. And this, when I say this will probably be the biggest thing I may ever do on this channel, or one of the biggest things I'll ever do on this channel. And like I said, I wish I could explain more, and I wish I could say who we're going to be with when we go out there. But I, just in case of last minute things, I don't want to say who, but it's going to be huge. So, but like I said, I have a good feeling about this, and I wish I could explain why. I really wish I could explain why, because then I think I would have most of you on board as far as leads go with this Dylan Rounds case. You guys know we've been out there. We know. I'm not an expert, but I know this case very well. I've been out there, and this lead that has been brought up, I can tell you this is a big lead. The biggest lead probably ever. So you guys want to see the donation dance? Okay. All right, we'll play it. Like I said, I want to tweak it a little bit, but we'll do it. You guys want to see it, and then we'll talk about one more thing. Okay, what did we do with it? That's the question. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, guys. Here's the donation dance. If you guys can, just press the like button if you can. But if you guys like to donate, it's going to go to a good cause. We'll explain that in a minute. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I'm gonna tweak it a little bit. So some work that at the beginning I don't like because it's not. Yeah, the camera wasn't good, but we'll definitely fix it up a little bit. Yeah. So thank you so much, Tom. And I need to make my way out there and cook you some Texas brisket. We'll go live on that. All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for the 99 cents. And thank you so much for your hard work as a mod. Go Gary Huge. Thanks, buddy, for the $10. We love Gary Huge. Awesome job, Chris. Thank you, Ruby Joy. Yes. Ben's Dancer. Thank you so much, Tom. Oh, you're amazing. So anyway, before we finish up, just a quick few other last things I want to talk about. So like I said, we are going to be obviously doing this project real quick. Oh, Candace. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I've got to call Candace. She just emailed me. Thank you, Paula Webb, for the $10. Thank you, Dana from Alaska, for your donation as well through PayPal. And if I missed anybody, like I said, I'm going to be doing a thank you video for when everything's done. So anyway, like I said, some big things are going to go down. Can't say when, but super stoked to be a part of it. And like I said, just yeah. So looks like I got to get off the phone. I've got to call Candace. So see what's going on. So with that said, guys, let's see. Today's Friday. I was hoping to go live Thursday, so I might do one more short live tomorrow, maybe, and then it might slow down for a little bit. But I promise you, it's going to be worth it for everybody. Members, obviously, I'm going to have tons of stuff. So I can't wait. Like I said, this is a big thing. And then one more time, thank you so much, Copper Horse. That is so sweet for you to gift out all those memberships. That is huge. Please show Copper Horse some love if you haven't already. That is so sweet. And thank you guys so much for being so loyal. I know it's not the biggest case to cover. It is very fascinating. And of course, we'll keep an eye on it. And so, with that said, oh, and one more thing. So, last two things. Pet update. As I know, you guys sent me a lot of pets. I told you guys I'd be getting them in real soon. With everything going on, it's going to be a little bit. So if you can, maybe to the mods, maybe not promote the pet thing for a little while, just until I can catch up. And then emails as well. If you email me, I might not be able to get back to you like I normally do. I'm going to be very busy, let's just say that, for a little while. So, but it'll all be worth it in the end, and I'll get caught up. But like I said, it's going to be a little hectic, around the corner. So, with that said, I love you guys. I will play, of course, an outro of our pets, and eventually we'll get a new one in. Just not sure when. So, with that said, guys, thank you so much for everything. Thank you, mods, for all your hard work. And if I missed any donations, I will catch you in the next live. So I love you guys. We're going to play the outro. Have an amazing weekend. We'll see you guys real soon.